Hello, hello, hello. It is Tuesday. We here a little bit later today, but we are here. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. A whole lot. Man, I slept till like noon today, but I needed the rest. I really did, and these edibles have been helping me sleep for like 2 to 3 hours more a night, which is definitely good because I don't really like to sleep that much. So I feel more rested and energized. I feel good. Everything is coming along. But yes, I'm sure y'all seen Diddy has been arrested. He tried to put up a whole bunch of collateral. We got Queen Fritza. What's going on? Thank you for joining. How you doing today? What have you been cooking this week? Tell me, spill the tea on what you've been cooking this week. But yes, it's a nice day here in St. Louis. It's a bit warmer, high 80s or whatever. You feel me? But I'm doing good, man. Stoned Assassin, what's going on? But yeah, no, Diddy is we gonna talk a lot about that today. But Diddy is in serious trouble. He's been in trouble, but he was just kind of in New York, kicking it, living it up, I guess, trying to have as much fun as he can before things inevitably crashed in. I mean, essentially, what Diddy did with his life is he became one of the most successful people in the world, and much of all he did with it is hurt people, rip people off. A lot of how he became as wealthy as he is. Yeah, he's got a lot of brand deals, a lot of sponsorship deals, but he didn't pay people. I mean, that's really how he ended up securing his wealth. Is he didn't pay people things that he should have. The artists that he worked with, he just took their money and he bullied people, and he did it to soothe his insecurities about himself, and he got really, really comfortable with it. And the people around him helped him do it because they were making enough money to turn the other way. A classic story in the human condition. But yeah, he's done for, and they denied him bail. He got arrested in New York. He tried to do like a $50 million bail or something like that. He put up a mansion and a jet plane, a private jet plane up for collateral, and they was like, nah, you ain't getting out of here. So yeah, it's looking really, really bad for him. Fritz are making braised short ribs, lobster. Oh, braised short ribs and lobster, scalloped potatoes and a salad. That sounds better than anything I've eaten in a long. Fritz, it's always like that. Fritz is always making something that is better than anything anybody's ever had before, or like the type of stuff you only have a couple of times a year because we're Americans and we just eat burgers and fries and hot dogs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and she got the glass of Merlot going. See, Fritza knows how to live. Fritza knows how to live. We got Jenny, we got Triple I, Triple I, we got Doctor Who gives a F in the building. But yeah, no, Diddy is and we're gonna go over a lot of stuff, but Diddy has allegedly Diddy done did a lot of shit, man. So let's go ahead and get into some of that. Let's go ahead and get into that for today. First, which one should we start off with? Because I got a bunch pulled up. Let's see. He pled not guilty. We saw that. We're gonna look at the charges. I'm trying to see because I got a bunch of stuff pulled up. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, let's go ahead and start with this. Start with the bail package that he tried to put up. So let's start there. But yeah, I mean, the rumors about Diddy have been swirling for years and years. Pretty much everybody who was attached to him or close to him knew what was going on in some type of capacity. But after that video came out of him just completely, he beat the shit out of Cassie, man. I mean, he was beating her ass, kicking her while she was on the ground. He threw a vase at her when she was trying to get out go in the elevator. Just sweltering anger that he has. We got Mimi. What's going on? Good to have you here. But yeah, after that video dropped on CNN, it was done. It was completely over. And I'm not sure if he actually thought that he was going to get away with everything, but he's been doing his best to live it up while he can. So let's see what's up. Let's get this off. He offered a $50 million bail package, and they was like, no, your ass is staying the fuck locked up because he was going to try to flee. Obviously, he's a flight risk, but Diddy's so famous that it would be hard for him to like really stay hidden anywhere. Like he could go pretty much anywhere in the world. All America would have to do is hit up everybody and be like, if you see him, you get wind of him, tell us. And that would be it. That would be it. Because don't nobody really have much incentive to protect him. But yes, so again, here we got he put up his mother's home in Miami properties, and I think one of his jets too. All right, let's see. And we got a few other things, but again, he was refused bail. He's in a sex trafficking trial. Sean Diddy Combs has offered a $50 million package to get bail until the beginning of his trial. And they was like, no. They was like, hell no. In addition to offering up these homes, Diddy has also offered to restrict his travel to New York, New Jersey, and Florida. He's willing to wear a GPS monitor so police can keep track of where he's at too. I mean, just desperate attempts to stay out of prison as long as he possibly can. I mean, I don't really see how he's not going to end up in prison. I really don't because there's not much. I mean, again, here's the thing about society, right? Here's the thing about people is leverage is what keeps you out of jail. Leverage is what keeps you from facing consequences, but leverage ends up running out, right? That's a lot of what Donald Trump, that's a lot of the situation Donald Trump is in right now. His leverage is gone and he loses the election. His leverage is in the negatives. And when you have no leverage, there's no reason for people to keep you out of trouble. What do they have to gain from it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, it's not even just the video that went out that's really shifted the public's opinion of him for however good it was, but the sex trafficking, all the people that he's allegedly raped, all the people who he has allegedly had murdered. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go over that today. Like he is, he's allegedly responsible for the deaths of many people, all the people he's beaten up. Diddy has hurt a lot of people physically. Again, all the people he's ripped off. He's got a bunch of brand deals and sponsorships. Well, he doesn't now, but again, Diddy ain't got no talent for real. He's a shrewd businessman, but other than that, like, I mean, what is he known for? Dancing all up in people's videos. Diddy didn't pay his artists. That's how he originally got as wealthy as he is. That's how he got his start. He didn't pay people. Oh yeah, Triple I. Yeah, he's been accused of being involved in the deaths of many people, not one or two people, but several people. We gonna look into that here. Tupac, Biggie, his ex-wife Kim, and a few other people. But he's just got so much shit on him. Again, it's like when people say rich people never go to jail, yeah, they do. They do when they run out of leverage. That's how it works. And that's the whole reason why, again, powerful people are able to evade consequences because they got leverage. They can give people jobs, they can give people money, they can hook people up with all types of stuff. I mean, what was it he paid Cassie's settlement like $30 million? Just like here's 30 million. Like that's what did it. But all of that shit is gone. And good riddance too. I mean, what a piece of shit. All right, here's the package right here. This I don't need to open it up here. I don't think I do. Yeah, no, it's all here. I don't need to do that. $50 million bond co-signed by Sean Combs, his mother, his sister. Oh, and they took away his passport and they took away the passports of his. I'm pretty sure of his family too, of his sons and his mom and stuff like that. The appraised value of his home or whatever home he was trying to put up, which was on West Star Island in Miami, $48 million. And they was like, nope. He paid off the remaining mortgage of about $18 million so that the home could secure a bond. I'm just gonna pay off this quick 18 million real quick. Secured. Okay, let's see. Yep, and here we go. Their passports have been the passports of the following family members who have already surrendered their passports to council after the raids on their homes: Janice, Chance, Jesse, Delilah, and Love. Diddy was taken into federal custody in New York on Monday, September 16th. Reports surfaced yesterday that Homeland Security agents arrived at the hotel that he was staying at in Midtown for the arrest. Sources revealed that Diddy was supposed to be arrested Tuesday, well, today, but the timetable of the arrest was moved up for an unspecified reason. In a statement to Complex, Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnafilo, announced the brief that what's happening is unjust. Well, of course, he's going to say that. He's his defense attorney. Quote, we are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the Black community. That's obviously not entirely true, but and it's not, what was it, like a day or a couple days after the CNN released the video of him beating the shit out of Cassie, he was like, "I'm sorry. I went to therapy and I had to talk to God. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted when I saw that video. I was disgusted when I did it, and I'm disgusted now." Yeah, I'm saying, like, that didn't help his cause whatsoever. But yes, exactly, Mike boy. He ruined the songs. That's what he did. He always had to be in the song. We got $5. Thank you so much. We got Benjamin. Thank you for the $5 super chat. You say, love you, man. Stopped in to toss a couple bucks and keep on kicking. Well, thank you so much for stopping in. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And yeah, man, it's definitely a good day. It's a good Tuesday. We here a little bit late, but we here. But thank you so much, Benjamin, for the $5 super chat. I'm doing my best. But yeah, this is just this is he's fucked. He's done. This guy's done. Sean Combs is now sitting at the defense table in a black shirt with two U.S. Marshals standing behind him, and just it's the classic symptoms of malignant narcissism. He's a victim. Nothing's his fault. All of this is unfair, despite everything that he's been doing for decades. Judge, victim one was forced to engage in sex acts. You are charged with knowingly transporting an individual to engage in prostitution. Counsel, have you received a copy? Okay, this is just, and he pled not guilty. He was like, "No, I'm not guilty. I didn't do it." Hold on, let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Because let's look at this. Not the video of him and Cassie, because I don't want to see that shit. And I'm sure y'all don't want to see it either. Because that was really hard to watch. But let's see. Let's check this out. This is what he put out right after that video on CNN went public.
To reflect on the darkest times in your life.
He's trying so hard to act like he's hurt by this, and he's not doing good at all. He shouldn't have put this out, but we got to watch this again.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
And again, that video, he's trying to fuck everything else. Don't pay no attention to anything else I did, because I can probably get away with just this. You know what I'm saying? I can probably get away with whooping our ass several years ago. But when it comes to everything else, no, let's not pay attention to that. Just this video.
I'm disgusted.
No, you're not.
I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
No, you're not.
I went and I sought out professional help.
Good for you.
I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace.
Yep, he brought up all the old classics, therapy and God. You know, what did he say? I'm sorry. I went to therapy. I talked to God, so y'all can just forget about it.
I'm so sorry.
My bad. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry.
but I'm committed to be a better man each and
No, you're
every
not.
day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
No, you're not. You absolutely are not. You're sorry you're in the situation you're in now. And I mean, a lot of like Diddy was like cosplaying as a
The
gangster his whole
situation we are
life.
dealing with means incredibly.
Like that seems to be like what he did and how he went about things. Like he thought he made his reality to where it's like he was in a movie, like he's the godfather and he just sets up that reality for himself as much as he possibly can. Right, exactly. Who knows if he actually went to therapy, but clearly it didn't work because just going to therapy isn't enough. You have to apply the therapy. But when it comes to malignant narcissists, therapy ain't gonna work. They're that the way they are is baked into their personalities. Like there's different levels of things. Levels of narcissism, levels of like things like borderline personality. Like when things get up to the malignant category, yeah, I mean, what do you, if you're uh, why the hell am I blanking? Am I a sociopath? If you're a sociopath, you don't feel like you don't feel guilt. You don't feel bad for stuff you do. Like it's not there. Like you may know that other people don't like it and that it might get you into trouble socially, but you don't really care. I mean, if Diddy gave a damn, he wouldn't do the shit that he did. You know what I'm saying? Like how could you possibly do all of that for all these years? This dude blew up Kid Cudi's car because he was dating a woman who Diddy abused. You gonna date like because Cassie was his thing. Cassie was his property that he gets to treat however he feels like because that makes him feel good. So how dare you treat her well? Like like he don't give a damn. Therapy doesn't work for people like him. Um But okay, hold on. What we got? Let's look into some of these charges. Again, I don't see any reason for him to get off with this shit because he doesn't have the leverage and it's just a bad look. Prosecutors don't want to lose their cases. All right, let's check this out. Diddy, fresh from the arrest in New York at the hands of federal agents, is accused in a newly unsealed indictment of, among other things, having abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Again, all how deliberate all of this was. Like this is who he is, and it's who he's been. I mean, his stories about him being like this when he was in college, when he was in his early 20s, he was doing shit like this. Which says a lot. I mean, like on the one hand, when you're that young, maybe you can grow out of it, but he never did. Like he never did any real. He doesn't have any insight. People like Diddy have no insight because they can't. They don't work that way. They don't look inward. That's why everything's everyone else's fault. Always, it's always somebody else's fault. Um, because people like him lack the ability to look inward. They can't do it. And when they do look inward, they don't like what they see. And that's why that's why so much of his behavior and people like this, that's why their behavior is the way that it is because they're just constantly projecting. They're trying desperately to run away from themselves, but you can't run away from yourself. You know. You can't do it. All right, let's see. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. All right, so we got racketeering. Diddy is accused of heading a criminal enterprise, members and associates of which are said to have taken part in crimes including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson. This motherfucker was lighting shit on fire. Oh yeah, among other things, blowing up Kid Cudi's car, bribery and obstruction of justice. The alleged criminal enterprise, per prosecutors, was known by multiple entity names. Bad Boy Entertainment among them. The highly orchestrated sex acts. He would have people up for days on drugs. Sex trafficking for a period of time estimated in the indictment to have spanned from around 2009 to 2018. Diddy is accused of knowingly carrying out a series of actions constituting sex trafficking. Transportation to engage in prostitution. What has Diddy said? "Oh, I ain't do none of this. I ain't do that. I'm innocent. I'm totally innocent. Y'all tripping. I'm a black man. They just doing it because I'm a successful black man. They don't want to see you succeed." So of course, that is his what he has to say about it. The guns they got from his crib. United States v. Sean Combs. He is it, bro. He's screwed. He is screwed. All right, let's see what's up. We got look at these pictures. Look at this. United States versus Sean Combs. Look at these guns. Look at these massive again, who does this dude think he is? Like he thought he was Scarface. He really thinks he's Scarface. And his luck ran out. That's all that really happened. His luck ran out. We got a few more things and then we gonna move on. We got 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying? We got to check that because you already know he trolling. Hold on, let's see. Let me see what's up with this. I'm skipping through some real quick. All right, here we go. Let me bring this up. Let me bring this up. Because he got guns like that because he was playing out a fantasy. He's been playing out a fantasy his whole life, man. He thinks he's Al Capone, something. I don't know who he think he is, but we got Soul Life in the building. What's up, brother? Uh,
Morning, everyone. My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused.
Are you gonna be there? They don't want to see a black man. They don't want to see a black man succeed. He's gonna be in the up and in prison
other
bars.
people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs.
I mean, again, we don't really need to go over this whole thing, but he's just a fucked up dude, man. Like he's disgusting. You know, he's a disgusting person. And in the middle of his freak offs, he would just punch Cassie in the face and knock her out cold. Like, Jesus, like, goddamn, man.
Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. Some of the items that we recovered during the searches. To be invaluable partners to us.
Yeah, I mean that's for decades. That's how he lived. That's what he did. We got the right wing mixing up Montel Williams with P Diddy, but we'll get to that in a sec. Let's we got a couple more, and then we're gonna get to that because all black people look the same, even though Diddy's several shades darker than Montel Williams. It was like, oh, Kamala Harris used to date Montel Williams. And then they thought that he was P Diddy or some shit like that. All right. Where we got? Let's see where we at. Now let's check out the bail denial, and then we'll get into his alleged people he allegedly had killed or tried to have killed, and then we'll move on to other things. All right, let me pull this up. Let me pull it up. Denied the bail request. Right, exactly. Can't stop, won't stop. Never should have started. That's perfect. We got to say that he should have that shit, or he or somebody got to trademark that shit. So like, go ahead and trademark that shit and make you some money. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get it on. I'm not sure what the range of his sentencing is right now, but my guess is a very long time. Very long. I mean, shit. R. Kelly, what did he get? Like 35 years or some crazy shit like that. My guess is it's probably similar for P Diddy, but I don't know exactly. But he pled not guilty, but they denied him bail. So imagine him right now. Imagine him. He was just very arrogantly just out and about in New York, and now, nah, you can't leave. He's just sitting in that jail cell. Now, what's this right here?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment
Bro,
alleged.
he's so screwed. He's so he's not getting out of jail. He's not like that. I mean, that's one. They got evidence against him. Two, it's been a long time coming. Okay, thank you, my boy. He said life maximum, minimum of 15. Yeah, he's and again, it's not even just that he's guilty, it's the type of crimes he's guilty of. Like it rightfully leaves a terrible taste in everybody's mouth. They're not gonna let this dude go. Because one, not only would it be a miscarriage of justice, but also it would just make them look bad. This is a solid W for the U.S. Law enforcement system. They're not letting him out of here, man. They're not letting him out. They are not letting him out. He's 54. Yeah, he's 54 years old. I'm pretty sure. A judge denied his request. They was like, "Nah, you can't leave." Oh, yeah, there we go. It says it right here. Thank you, Mike Boy, for pointing that out. If found guilty, he faces a minimum of 15 years behind bars and a maximum sentence of life in prison. Woo! Mm. Mm. Damn. He's so done. And you know what? You know what? For everything that Diddy accomplished, history really ain't gonna remember him. He's gonna be in the back pages of history because he's a disgrace. And he is, he's not Aretha Franklin. He's not, when I say that, I mean like he's not a talent. It's not like he, Biggie and all these other people that he put on and that he put out, they are remembered for their music. He ain't gonna be remembered for his music. He's not gonna be remembered for no acting. He's not gonna be remembered for philanthropy. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what he's gonna be remembered for. And because of that, history really ain't gonna remember him all that much. Like he spent his whole life trying to become this legend whose legacy would never die, but his legacy's gonna die. You know what I mean? Like Once every like in 50, 60 years, when everybody who remembers him is dead and gone, ain't nobody gonna be talking about this dude. Exactly, the sampler and the sampler in chief. But yeah, he's toast, man. And good riddance too. Good riddance. But he enjoyed his last free days because he ain't getting out of prison. Imagine that. Imagine that. He's just been coasting, thinking he's gonna get away with it, thinking the public is gonna let him off, and now he can't even get a bail. The judge decided there were no conditions she could impose on Diddy. Tarnowski pointed out sex trafficking is a crime that happens behind closed doors, and the rapper would be hard to monitor, even the pretrial monitoring services. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Diddy's lawyer says, Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. Well, I'm sure he will, but he's looking at a minimum of that's a long time to be in prison, man. He probably going to get more than that. Quote, there's nothing that the government said in their presentation today that changes anyone's mind about anything. He's been looking forward to being arrested and denied bail. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he's just been losing so much sleep because he can't wait to be in this position. He's been looking forward to clearing his name. Too bad. And and what a demonstration of how he doesn't have any real friends, because one, ain't nobody coming to his rescue, one, because a lot of them were involved in it in some type of way, but two, because nobody fuck with him for real. Nobody is coming to this dude's defense. They haven't, and they ain't gonna do it now. And he's going to clear his name. No, nope, that ain't happening. We're going to stand by his side as he does. We believe in him wholeheartedly. He didn't do these things. Yeah, it's all fake. All of it's fake, including the video where we saw him again. He didn't slap Cassie. He whooped her ass. He whooped her ass as if he did it all the time. He was so comfortable doing it. And it's not even just her. You saw all the other shit about all, man. This dude is trash. He is a scumbag. He is a terrible person. He really is. And he's right where he should be. All right, now we're gonna get into 50 Cent. Well, before we get into 50 Cent trolling him, let's check out a little bit more of this. And then we're gonna get into the Montel Williams. He says, so why were his children's passports confiscated? Well, as far as I know, his two sons, they're being looked at for similar things. But I guess my only guess is they confiscated his family's passports because they're like, it's like a massive fuck you. It's a way to be like, Diddy, you're caught, you ain't, and you're not getting away with it. I'm sure there's more practical reason than that, but that's rather symbolic to me, just in the terms to be like, we got your ass. But yeah, so now let's check this out. A comprehensive list. A comprehensive list of everyone Diddy has allegedly tried to murder. Again, it's you're not going to escape this dude. The only way that Diddy he can escape it, but the only way Diddy could escape this is if 100 years go by and he turns into someone else. That's the only way. R. Kelly seeing Diddy walking into prison. Tupac. Diddy has been tied to Tupac's murder ever since it happened, and that speculation hasn't slowed down in the decades since. Eminem even referenced it on his latest track, and there have been reports that federal agents are investigating Diddy's involvement in the 1996 shooting. For those of you not familiar, okay, we don't really need to go up with that. What does it say? Diddy has been officially arrested. Everybody makes some note. Why? It's taking us to X. Hold on, what does this say? All right, never mind. We don't need to go into that. Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. Drake. This is where things get a little weirder. Diddy and Drake have allegedly beefed for over a decade. I think J. Cole and Diddy got into a fist fight at one point or some shit like that. With Diddy allegedly punching Canada's certified lover boy back in 2014 because he thought Drake stole a beat that he wanted. Again, this is how Diddy goes about things. You know, if he can, he will put his hands on you, or he will have other people put his hands on you. Like again, this dude thought he was Al Capone or some shit. Meek Mill. Meek Mill. And again, what is it? He blew up. The dude tried to blow up. No, he did blow up Kid Cudi's car. Yep, there we go. Blew up his car in 2016. Again, you blew up his car. Like this, did he? He's out of his goddamn mind. He's out of his mind. And there's stuff about him and his ex-wife Kim. But again, there's just so much stuff swirling around this dude. We got 50 Cent trolling Diddy because that's one of the things he does best. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody troll like 50 Cent. 50 Cent trolls Diddy and his 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil found in federal raid.
Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers.
Where's the post? 50 Cent said, "Here I am keeping good company with Drew Barrymore, and I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house." Didn't he? Yeah, he put together. I think he put together. Yeah, 50. He did put together a series, and I think Netflix bought it. I don't know if it's come out. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's come out, but you knew that shit was coming. And then, of course, this is last, and then we'll get into. We got Michael in the building. What's going on, brother? You said wasn't there anybody in the industry powerful enough to stop him? Yes, they just didn't care enough. That's all it was. They just didn't care enough. The money was flowing, so they was like, "Fuck it, who cares?" And not only that, well, that's most of it, but also I think the culture has shifted a lot in terms of like misogyny is still rampant, of course, but it's not quite as acceptable as it used to be. And like even in my lifetime, I'm 32 years old, but from the time I was like a kid up until now, there's been a lot of progress in terms of just generally respecting women. So I think that kind of helped out too, is a bit of a culture shift. But ultimately, people just didn't care enough to really do anything about it. And he had dirt on so many people, so they was like, let me not get myself caught up in that shit. But ultimately, people just didn't give a damn. And the people who did like stopped excuse me, the people who did stopped associating themselves with him. Montel Williams slams MAGA, mistaking him for Diddy in Kamala Harris photo. Josh Dunlap, he says, here is P. Diddy with Kamala Harris. P. Diddy has been arrested for sex trafficking. Who thinks he should expose everyone in Hollywood? Oh, we gotta go to X. Why do we okay, well, screw it. I'll just open up this page. No big deal. No big deal at all. That's a fact, Michael. That is a fact. That is a fact. Hold up, here we go. All right, they got this. They say this is him.
Long before she met Doug Emhoff, she dated some prominent men, including in 2001, former talk show host Montel Williams. Back then, he was the famous one and had to introduce her to the paparazzi. Now, the whole world knows who she is.
He does. He's not Diddy again. Diddy's like 2 or 3 shades darker than Montel Williams. Bring this other one back up. He said, "Here they go again with quote all black people look alike." But of course, because of course. All right, now let's go ahead and get into some other things. Where are we at now? I got a bit of other stuff pulled up. All right, let's check this out. Let's check this out. Exactly. He didn't even watch the video. He was like, "Black man, sunglasses. This is Diddy." Exactly. Like Montel Williams is quite light skinned compared to Diddy. Like, no, all these niggas look the same. All right, here we go. We got Stuart Varney. I'm going to end it. Fox Business host cuts off guest who says Dems want Trump dead. Man, the MAGA, they're just in just pure desperation. Just pure desperation. You know, it's Kamala and the Democrats' rhetoric that got Trump shot, but you know, it's none of the stuff that Trump says every single day. None of that matters. But when we rightfully say, "Hey, Trump's a threat to democracy. Trump's a threat to every damn thing. Trump's no good." Oh, that's why. Even though both of the people who tried to kill him were Republicans.
The New York Times reports that Trump himself plans to keep campaigning as scheduled, despite the assassination attempts. Today, he's going to be in Flint, Michigan, before traveling tomorrow to New York, actually. Should Trump change the way he campaigns?
Well, so far, the way he campaigns has not been the problem.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it.
Stuart, it's been the Secret Service. It's been how they actually do their work. I mean, we saw in Pennsylvania where they did not do a proper threat assessment. They did not extend the perimeter past one of the few buildings that was there and secure that area. That doesn't cost them anything to do that. They just didn't do it. And they created a fatal funnel because of that. Okay, so we could look at that one and say, potentially that was just incompetence. But now we have the same exact thing occur again. And these attackers will take advantage of that. So I have to sit back and ask, is this a nefarious thing that's going on within the side of the Secret Service, that they're just leaving these areas open? Because if that's the case, then I think Trump needs to take a serious step back and hire individuals like myself and other people that I can bring in to simply do perimeter checks, and then he can campaign as normal. But right now, I'd be sweating bullets every time I went out there, because I'm going to say this on air. I said it earlier on the radio. The Democrat Party, regardless of the rhetoric that they want Trump dead.
I don't know. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm sorry, Jonathan. I don't think you can say that legitimately.
I think we can say it legitimately, but I think we can say that legitimately based on the verbiage that they use, and then they.
We're so used to Trump, and we've gotten really desensitized to it. But like this, Donald Trump is out of his mind. He really is. He's fucking crazy, and these MAGA's crazy. They really allowed the craziest people in their sphere to take over the organization. Like you're just openly saying the Democrats want Trump dead. Like that is, and it's so much so even Stewart's like, nah, come on, man, come on, bro, you can't. Not on my show, at least. Don't do this shit on my show, because that's ridiculous. Like, come on. These people really are dangerous, man. Like, I mean, we know that, but they don't care. And one of the things that makes them so dangerous is how stupid they are. These people are dumb. They're so stupid.
They cover up. To say that they want him eliminated, to say that they want him gone. These are words that push people forward, and then you have directors of agencies like this that come on and they do not do the job, the simple job of perimeter security over and over and over again.
Jonathan, I'm sorry, I'm going to end it right there. I'm not going to take any conspiracy theories on this show. Jonathan,
that's not a conspiracy theory.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I'm not having it.
Listen, Jonathan, I'm an investigator.
Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
I'm an investigator, and I know that the Democratic organization, the whole thing that's comprised of millions of people, both here and abroad, they all want Trump dead. All of them. I'm an investigator. I know what I'm talking about. It's not a conspiracy. Okay, man. All right. Well, whatever you say. All right, let's see what we got. We got Tim Scott. It's because Democrats say true things about Donald Trump. That's why. I mean, it's so weak. I mean, obviously, this ain't gonna convince no new voters to go to Trump. Ain't no undecided voters left. Maybe 1% of the voting populace is undecided. Man, come on. It's not a conspiracy theory. Tim Scott calls on the left to tone down its rhetoric seconds before openly suggesting a larger plot to kill Trump.
Your reaction, Senator Scott?
Well, listen, don't ever forget the fact that the Bible tells us that Proverbs
The Bible. Okay, what's he gonna say?
18
The Bible in Jesus, but I'm fully behind Donald Trump. Okay, all right.
21 that there's death and life in the power of the tongue. What we're seeing being weaponized on the left is their words. They literally continue to call former President Donald Trump a threat to democracy.
I don't know how these people live with themselves, man. Like him or Byron Donalds or any of these people just go, or any of these Republicans. Like, I mean, a lot of Democrats too. I don't like how do you live with yourself? How do you look at yourself in the mirror when you're just constantly lying to the public, constantly lying, constantly, pushing conspiracy theories, constantly just being full of shit. How do these people sleep at night?
You've got crazy folks who say, I've just been empowered to eliminate the threat to democracy. How does that work? It works when we see the liberal elite literally trying to take
Bro, cancel the Constitution so I can stay in office. After you vote for me this time, we're not going to have any more elections. We'll take care of that. You only got to do it one more time. January 6th, where thousands of people literally stormed the Capitol. Like, do you really understand how crazy that really is? If people would have done that 100 years ago, they probably would be put to death over some shit like that. If something like that happens in certain other countries, they're getting put to death over shit like that. Like, these people ran up in the Capitol, shit on desks, broke windows, people died, all because Donald Trump didn't want to leave. But we can't talk about that.
out a political opponent. Now, do they cause it? Absolutely, they contribute to it. They're complicit with it because of their words. Let me just say this, Sean, without question. Here's a party whose nominee did not get a single vote in a Democrat primary. Why? There was no Democrat primary. The coronation ceremony with her becoming the nominee did not.
And again, that's not like it's okay. Let's say for a moment that it's true. Like, even though we know Joe Biden stepped down, and at the convention, bro, she was formally accepted at the convention. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But let's say that this was true. Trump's still losing. So what difference does it make? I can't. I'm so tired of these people. But I work in politics. So what am I going to do?
Not take a process. That is the end of democracy. When you're talking about the hypocrisy on the left, it's undeniable and hard to miss that they literally wiped clean the slate of how elections are run in the United States of America.
No, they didn't. Kamala Harris is a vice president. That's what the vice presidents are for, to replace the president for whatever reason. That's what it's for. And he stepped down.
America. But their rhetoric, it's not just over the top. It is potentially.
Their rhetoric's over the top. But Trump talking about Haitians eating cats. How does this nigga live with himself? I'm sorry. I know some of y'all want to hear me say that, but so what? This nigga needs to get the fuck on, man. This coon ass nigga.
Deadly. We need to see it toned down, starting on the left. I've already heard it from our side. Every one of us wants to focus on the issues, but every single time we see another attempt against President Trump, you got to ask yourself, is there a plot? 2 assassination attempts in 6 weeks? If I were him, his family, or those who support him, you got to start thinking, what's going wrong in this process? We need answers. We need them now.
Man, fuck this nigga, man. This dude, here go another one right here. Byron Donalds. This dude, Donald Trump a few weeks ago when Byron Donalds came up on the stage. He said, he's one of the good ones. Not all of them are good. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, man. Oh, okay. What does he have to say? Oh, he's just the worst, Byron Donalds.
All right, joining us right now is Republican Congressman from Florida, Trump campaign surrogate Byron Donalds. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Bouncing off the conversation that Harry and Sarah were just having, how undecided do you think the diminishing number of undecided voters really are this election at this point?
I believe they're somewhat undecided. I think they're juggling through the realities of America. Number one, the economy, this massive inflation created by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. The immigration problems in our country are real. They're looking at that. But then I also do believe they're having to juggle with also a lot of the rhetoric that's out there in terms of where the country's going and who's going to protect the country.
Exactly, Fritz. And that's why I said it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you don't like it. And I've been doing better than not saying it as much. But yes, the people like this is exactly who the word is for.
And I think if you look at the facts are very clear that Donald Trump addresses the issues that concerns Americans, the economy, our borders, and our foreign policy. And what Vice President Harris is talking about is not those issues. She's talking about wanting to look forward, or unfortunately, there's still a lot of negative rhetoric coming from her campaign.
All Trump talking about putting tariffs on everything. We're just gonna put tariffs on every country in the world who ships goods to America, and that'll take care of absolutely everything.
Basically saying her and her surrogates that Donald Trump is some threat to democracy, which is a flat out lie. And that lie can be proven to be a lie because he was already president of the United States. The country was thriving when he was president of the United States.
It was thriving.
And there were no new wars when he was president of the.
There were no new wars. This is such a stupid talking point. It's so stupid.
United States.
In terms of rhetoric, do you think Donald Trump in the Trump campaign, do you think they have a problem with rhetoric as well?
No, not at all.
No, and I don't. I think especially in light of the fact that
He said, no. Bro, these people have no credibility. No credibility. Look, after Trump loses, they're just going to go crazy. They're going to lose their minds. They're going to lose it. They're going to completely lose it. And I'm really not looking forward to it. But I mean, no credibility. None. And that's exactly why, honestly, like, fuck these people, man. Like, there's no point in engaging with these people like they're serious, because they're not. They're not serious, and they know they're not, and they don't mean any of us well. They don't. There's no point in trying to work with these people.
that there has now been a second assassination attempt on the life of President Trump? I do not believe so. What we are seeing now is that you do have radical elements of the Democrat Party, people who have been radicalized by the hateful rhetoric from Democrat officials, talking about how he's a threat to democracy, but that's simply not true. Talking about how he wants to bring in Project 2025. We know that is not true. That is a lie. Donald Trump has distanced himself.
I'm having such a hard time with this, y'all.
From that. The Heritage Foundation has said he has nothing to do with it, but they say these things anyway. What Donald Trump has been talking about is we're going to fix our borders. We're going to have a great economy again. We're going to get out of these conflicts. We're going to make America great again. That is his rhetoric. So I think if you compare the nastiness from Kamala Harris's campaign and from the Democrat Party compared to what we've been talking about really for the last 9 years. But
how does this dude live with himself?
Specifically the last year and a half in this campaign, no, I do not agree that it is the same rhetoric. There's no moral equivalency in the rhetoric between these two campaigns.
I think any serious person.
Yeah, you're right. There's no moral equivalency. That is true.
Would also say, Congressman, that Donald Trump is a source of heated and dangerous rhetoric over months and years. I mean, even Republicans who support him and are voting for him this election have basically begged him to tone it down. So if Republicans who even support you say that you've got a problem, you need to tone it down, you've got to mayor in Springfield, Ohio, saying you guys need to tone it down because we now have bomb threats on schools in our area. There's a problem also.
Fake name. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate that. I'm glad I caught you too. Fritz always keep me caught up, and I got one screen. Sometimes I have two, so I can see the chat. But I'm glad that I caught you. Thank you for enjoying my work. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna keep on doing my best.
So, you know, in the general rhetoric of the campaign, that the term that is often criticized, but that if you want to say both sides should address, but right, logically.
Well, actually, let's dig into this a little bit more. And thank you for bringing this up. Yes, we've heard from the Springfield mayor, and nobody wants bomb threats or anything like that. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have been talking about reports coming out of Springfield. J.D. Vance represents the state of Ohio. He's talking about things that his constituents have brought to him. But let's compare that to the fact that Kamala Harris in the debate last week, she lied about Donald Trump's bloodbath comments. Why did she say that? Because she wants to invoke.
I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. I'm done. I can't watch more of him. I can't do it. I mean, I don't. And also, you know, J.D. Vance is the senator of Ohio, and he's like, "Fuck my constituency. Who cares? Fuck them. Whatever." And then he went on TV the other day. What was it? Yesterday or 2 days ago? I was like, "Yeah, I'm just making shit up. You know, I'm just." The Republican Party is really something else, man. Again, the Democratic Party has a ton of issues. Corruption is a motherfucker, but just man, these people. All right, let's see. We'll get to that a little bit in a bit. Let's check out Bill O'Reilly. What he got to say before we get into some more Kamala's policies, and I'll talk a little bit about that. It's ridiculous. Bill O'Reilly rips Trump's "I hate Taylor Swift" post. Yeah, Donald Trump is posting stuff like this, and Byron Donalds was like, "Donald Trump is talking about the economy and immigration, and none of his rhetoric is problematic at all. In fact, Kamala Harris last week at the debate called him out for things that he said and that everybody in the country and around the world have seen him say, because we live in the digital age and you can't get away with stuff like this anymore. But none of that matters." All right.
Looking at the tweet right now, or social media post, "I hate Taylor Swift." Gee, it plays right into Democrats' talking points that this is somebody who is way too emotional and, I don't want to say unhinged, but that would be the Democratic talking point about Donald Trump, does it not?
Sure, it's if it were Ronald Reagan, he could say, "I hate Love and Spoonful." I mean, it was ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't know why he does it, but I will tell you this: the sound cuts that you ran, the montage,
Yep.
90% of that was fine. Fine. He can do issues. If he wants to call Kamala Harris a communist, he can call her a communist, okay? Because it is not true, but it's political rhetoric. It's not hateful. I want her to be crucified. This is what politicians do on both sides, and you know it. You know it. You've seen it. So as long as he's in the zone of saying, look, open border leads to rape and murder of Americans, that's true. And he can say it's true. But when he gets into eating Cocker Spaniels, and I hate Taylor Swift, he hurts himself. Now, I don't know why he does it. But the fact of the matter is, it's a matter of...
he does it because he's an idiot. That's why he does it.
Weighing the danger. That's what Americans are going to have to do on Election Day. So the left, the Harris supporters, they feel that Trump is a fascist, that he's going to burn a constitution, and he's going to do all kinds of things. And the right says, no, this progressive Kamala Harris is going to change every part of traditional America, including the economy. And so it's who's more dangerous? That's where we are. Now, I have a brilliant suggestion, because I try to bring in one brilliant suggestion for Leland every week. If I'm running the Trump campaign, and I don't think anybody could, so I'd last about probably 8 hours.
At least listen to him. I'm going to give some advice. I know no one's going to. He just said if I was running the campaign, but I know nobody really could. That would last about 8 hours. What he just said it. He basically just said Trump's done. And everyone knows it because every day he just ruins it for himself. Every day, like every single day, he does some stupid bullshit.
I would say to the former president, put out a statement right now saying that you want Vice President Harris to co-sign a letter that would be issued to the American public to tamp down the hatred.
Why is that a brilliant suggestion, Bill? And why would Kamala Harris need to co-sign a letter with Donald Trump about anything like that? Why can't Donald Trump do that himself? Because he's the one doing it.
Trump would propose that. Number one, Harris would have to do it, but it's Trump driving.
Why would she? Okay, I'm okay. Shut up, Bill. I don't know. What the hell are you talking about? She would have to. Why would she have to do that? She ain't got to do nothing, especially not in that regard. They're all a bunch of idiots, man. All right, now it's time. Let's talk a little bit about some real shit when it comes to Gaza and Israel and the United States. I personally don't really expect anything more than a ceasefire. I don't really expect more than that. Maybe we'll get more. I don't really think we will. And the reason I don't is because this is what America does. APAC money is incredibly strong within the American government. And it's not even just that, but for decades, America has been one of Israel's fiercest and most loyal supporters, right? So because of that, an amazing amount of political capital would have to be put into something like a two-state solution, would have to be put in to changing anything whatsoever at all. And I just don't really see that happening. I see political capital going into other areas. Again, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. And I think that it's kind of naive for people to think that Kamala is going to get a two-state solution. No, she's not. Again, hopefully she can, but let's be real right now. Israel is much more powerful than anything to do with Palestine because they're supported by some of the most powerful governments on the planet, right? So in order for a two-state solution to happen, and I'm just speaking just basic power and basic politics, in order for something like that to happen, it would have to be granted. It would have to be forced. It would have to be made. And much of the world would have to come together to do it. Is it possible? Sure. But at the end of the day, this is an issue that people are going to have to stay on Kamala Harris about. They're going to have to keep it alive. This isn't something, like when it comes to stuff like, let's say, for instance, like raising the minimum wage. I have no doubt that the Harris-Walz administration will just do something like that. When it comes to stuff like expanding the Affordable Care Act, giving people, what else is in her agenda? Get the $50,000 tax deductible for small businesses, $25,000 for first-time home buyers, stuff like that. The Democratic Party does. That's part of the Democratic platform. I don't really see many issues there. But when it comes to standing up to Israel, I mean, I'm just being real. Like I'm just keeping it 100. Like I don't really see much of that happening. And again, Mike Boy said I don't think Kamala can secure a ceasefire. Maybe she can. I hope she can. But again, I think that in terms of this issue, it's probably a ceasefire will likely be as far as it goes, just because again, America is firmly behind Israel. A lot of that due to corruption, a lot of that also due to just belief and not in ideology. But also, it's just I don't know. I don't really see it. So I don't really think people should expect much more than stuff like, when she says we need a ceasefire, we need a two-state solution. Of course she's going to say that, but actually pursuing it, she would have to fight against all of the United States government in order to do much more than a ceasefire. And I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see, and I'm just being real. Um, but yeah, you don't really expect much about more than this. Like again, we Israel has the right to protect itself, and we have to do better for Palestinian lives. We need to push towards a two-state solution. Um, but again, me personally, I don't. A ceasefire is about as far as I see that going. And also, once that happens, I think realistically, much of the American public will kind of move on. So again, this is something that progressives are going to have to keep alive. It's a fight that all of us are going to have to stay on the forefront of. This is something that you care about. I know all of y'all care about it, and a lot of other people do as well. But this is part of politics. This is part of it. What can we do? How much responsibility can we take? Who can we elect in local governments? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. There's domestic issues, there's other foreign policy issues. But this right here is something that we're gonna have to keep this fight alive. And I think that realistically, this will be Kamala's not even just like a biggest challenge, but I think this will be her weakest area is the Gaza Israel situation. So now let's get into some other stuff in childcare plans and stuff like that. Hold on, let me pull this up. All right. And also too, like you gotta like it seems like a straightforward issue, but everybody don't see it the same way. So again, if she was really gonna stand up to Israel, she would piss off a lot of people. And while we may be like, oh fuck it, who cares? That's just not how this game is played. You know what I'm saying? So again, I encourage all of you, I encourage all of us to let's keep our feet on the gas for this issue and do what we can to push it forward because that's what politics is all about at the end of the day. What can you do? What can we do? Kamala Harris reveals new child care plan. Do I have this pulled up here? Yes, I do. Vice President Kamala Harris announced a new child care plan on Tuesday that proposes that working families would not pay more than 7% of their income for child care. This was the first time the Democratic nominee has spoken about the new initiative in her campaign. The 7% cap, however, was first proposed in President Joe Biden's Build Back Better package in 2021. Quote, "It is sadly the state of affairs in our country that working people often have to decide to either be able to work or to be able to have childcare," Harris said during an event with the National Association of Black Journalists. "It doesn't actually level out in terms of the expense versus the income. The rising cost of childcare is a core issue for some American families already grappling with inflation and the cost of living." Harris said the investment into childcare would allow people to pursue their dreams and, quote, "strengthen the entire economy." She said it is currently too expensive for the sandwich generation who have to pay for childcare while also taking care of their parents. The Democratic nominee's plan also includes, quote, "doing better for our childcare providers and expanding the child tax credit to $6,000 in the first year of the child's life. In the first year of the child's life, have the resources to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy children's clothing, and not to worry about whether they can meet their other needs." And I think in the Trump plan and JD Vance, theirs was $5,000, so they bumped it up by $1,000. When you talk about the benefits, and if you think about the benefit to the economy overall, it strengthens our economy to do things like pay attention to affordable childcare, affordable home health care, and extending the child tax credit. The National Women's Law Center Action Fund is calling the 7% cap transformative. So again, when it comes to stuff like this is pretty much what the Democratic Party Democratic platform is now. the issue with the Democratic platform is, do they carry it forward? Do they actually do it? But stuff like this, I'm pretty confident that especially Kamala has enough backing in Congress. I'm confident she'll do stuff like this. But when it comes to Israel, Gaza, I don't think so. But again, hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Can actually afford child. Please tell us, what plans will you propose to guarantee that families can actually afford childcare and elder care?
So to your point, it is sadly the state of affairs in our country that working people often have to decide to either be able to work or be able to afford childcare. Like they can't afford childcare and actually do the work that they want to do because it's too expensive and it doesn't actually level out in terms of the expense versus the income. My plan is that no working family should pay more than 7% of their income in childcare. Because I know that when you talk about the return on that investment, allowing people to work, allowing people to pursue their dreams in terms of how they want to work, where they want to work, benefits us all. It strengthens the entire economy. We saw, for example, during the pandemic what happened. And it sadly has dissipated as a conversation that we need to resuscitate, which is the number of women that had to leave the workforce because of a lack of childcare and home health care. And so many of our families, and in particular women, end up carrying the responsibility. Men do too, of course. What we call people who are in the sandwich generation.
Exactly.
Who have young children and are also taking care of their parents. And it is just absolutely too expensive for them to be able to work and do that. So my plan is not only about 7% of income for working people for childcare, but also we need to do better for our childcare providers and our home healthcare providers in terms of ensuring that they receive the wages that they deserve based on the dignity of their work. I have spent time with home healthcare providers, and their work is some of the most taxing work you can imagine. And I actually, when my mother was sick with cancer, did a lot in terms of taking care of her. And the work that is about taking care of a loved one, in particular an elder, is extraordinarily heavy in terms of the emotional toll, the time it takes. And we do it because that is what we do. But not everyone has the ability to take time from work to do it. And they need help. And we need to make sure we have home health care workers that can help them. But I want to also get back to the earlier point that you made about extending the child tax credit. So part of my new approach is we need to expand the child tax credit. And so part of my plan that is under an opportunity economy is to extend and expand the child tax credit to $6,000 so that young families in particular, for the first year of their child's life, which is an extraordinarily important time in their development, have the resources to be able to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy children's clothing, and not have to worry about whether they're going to be able to meet their other needs. And I don't need to remind anybody here, especially these esteemed journalists, but when we expanded the child tax credit a couple years ago, we reduced Black child poverty by half. And so again, if you talk about the benefit, and if you think about the benefit to the economy overall, it strengthens our economy to do things like pay attention to affordable childcare.
Yeah, listen, the difference between this answer and Trump was like, childcare is childcare, and this is nothing in comparison to the numbers that I'm talking about. When I don't even know what the fuck he said. I can't even properly mock him because he was just all over the damn place. But yes, again, all of us, when it comes to the Israel Palestine, there just needs to be a lot of organizing. She's going to have to be pushed into the right direction because, again, just by default of history, of corruption, and of ideology, this isn't something that America really wants to touch. Like, it's an issue that that the American governmental apparatus wants to sweep under the rug. So anytime there's anything like that, and sometimes it's different things. The Israel-Gaza issue is one of them. Sometimes it's wages, sometimes it's poverty, sometimes it's racism. It's been all types of things over the years. But the way that great change is accomplished is because the people stay on it. You got to do it, because at the end of the day, they're elected officials. So we got to play our part in that. All right, this is just funny right here. Just a quick, funny little 8-second clip that we might as well look at. Yeah, exactly. Say you have to have it. You have to have it. Yes, and then JD Vance said maybe grandma wants to help. Because after all, that's what what did he say? That's what postmenopausal women are for, to look after people's kids. Because I don't know what's really the point of a woman other than child rearing. I don't know. When you look at it evolutionarily speaking, I don't really see. This is just funny right here. Just a quick little funny thing to check out. My man's, he is the ultimate grifter. The ultimate grifter.
So they just came out with this T-shirt, which is really pretty spectacular, and it's selling like hotcakes. And
it's selling like hotcakes, and he's so defeated. He's so defeated, man. It's selling like, I wish it was longer than 8 seconds. They're selling like hotcakes.
So they just came out with this T-shirt, which is really pretty spectacular, and it's selling like hotcakes. And
just something quick and funny. That's all that was about right there. That is all that was about. All right, let's see what we got from Mr. JD. We got some stuff from Mr. JD right now. He said the kids can call an ambulance when grandma falls. It all works out. You're teaching kids responsibility, all while doing nothing about childcare in America. All right, what's JD Vance talking about? JD Vance blames Biden and Harris for death of Trump rally goer in Pennsylvania. They already did get somebody hurt. Again, they can say stuff like this, but we can't point out that Donald Trump is a buffoon. We can't do that, but they can just flat out lie like this.
Next question.
Hi, JD. This is Autumn Pitcher with News Channel 3 out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. With the former assassination attempt on former President Trump, are you and Trump considering having campaign events inside moving forward? And then also, was this event inside today because of that?
So I believe this event, that you'd have to ask the organizers, we'll follow up with you afterwards. I believe this event was already planned to be inside, so I don't think there's any change in security. By the way, with close to 500 patriots in the state of Michigan in this building right now and outside, I'd like to see an assassin try to come in this room. They come to the wrong place if you try to walk into this place right now. And while we're on that topic, by the way, I know we've got a couple hundred people outside. I want to give them a shout out. I'm sorry you couldn't make it. I'm sorry we hit capacity, but God bless you guys. I know you can hear me. You can't see me, but I'm grateful to you. But look, fundamentally, there's some risk inherent in this. I think the president has showed this, and I think that I'm trying to follow his example, which is when an assassin tried to take him down in Butler, PA, just about 6 weeks ago. He didn't hide in the basement. He didn't run away from the American people. He said, you know what? I want to be the people's president, so I got to get out there and talk to him. And that's what I'm going to keep on doing. And yes, there are some risks related to that. I think I've got a great Secret Service detail. I thank these guys every day for what they do. God bless you. But we're going to keep on getting out there talking to the American people because that's what they deserve. If you are too afraid to talk to a friendly media reporter, then you shouldn't be the people's president of the United States. It's the story of Kamala Harris's campaign. She wants to lead the United States of America. She wants to be in a private room with Xi Jinping and...
Hold on, what? She wants to lead the... Let's see where he's going with this.
...reporter. Then you shouldn't be the people's president of the United States. It's the story of Kamala Harris's campaign. She wants to lead the United States of America. She wants to be in a private room with Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, but she's terrified of the friendly American press corps. It's a total disgrace.
Okay. All right. I don't, because at this point, this line of this narrative doesn't even work, because now Kamala's doing a lot of interviews and she's going to keep doing it. So this doesn't even work anymore to say that she's afraid of the press, because she's not. So but they don't have anything left. They got no. They have nothing, so much to the point that they're talking about Haitians eating people's pets. I mean, and doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on it. They won't let go of it, because I can't be wrong.
Disgrace, and I'm never going to follow her example. I'm going to follow Donald J. Trump's example. Get out there and talk to people. Now, since you asked the question, I do want to say just one other thing about that, which is, number one, there have been 2 attempts on his life in just a couple of months. Donald Trump ought to have the same detail as Joe Biden. That is a policy choice that our federal government has decided that Donald Trump deserves a lesser level of protection.
No. That's not how it works. It's when you're the sitting president, you get more protection by default, because you're kind of more important to everything going on. So he is such and you know what? He won't even defend his wife. You know, they ask him questions about this is basically, the Republicans have been pretty racist about brown people. Laura Loomer said X, Y, and Z about the White House smelling like curry. And he was like, yeah, I don't really like that, but also who cares? What a spineless, and all for what? Like, this dude sold out just to be a laughing stock of the world. It's not even just the country. The whole world is laughing at MAGA. All of them are, everybody laughing at this shit. And for what? He's only 39 as well. So I mean, this whole run is definitely just going to greatly stunt anything that he could have done. I mean, not to say that he doesn't have a lane open in the right wing in America, but like, God, this guy.
Maybe with any normal formal president, that makes sense. It clearly doesn't meet the challenge of what Donald J. Trump is dealing with. So we ought to bump up his security. We, of course, want to be as careful as possible, and we want to make it so that we cut out the ridiculous rhetoric that I think has put a giant target on Donald Trump's back. Now, I have to say this because, look, all of us, whether Republicans, Democrats, or independents, all of us can do a better job at showing respect, at trying to debate our differences without, going into personal attacks.
Please, man. These people are so full of shit. They're so full of it. And they know it. They know it. You think they don't know it? Let's talk about Elon Musk. Elon Musk has overseen an 84% decrease in Twitter ad revenue. Might have to sell billions in Tesla stock to save company. He bought Twitter just to make it his personal playground. Like, why he tweets so much. It's like, and he acts like he's not the CEO of 8 other companies. The board of everybody needs to get rid of him. Like, because he's not helping. He really isn't. And he's not the brain behind any of the technology for any of the companies that he's a CEO for. So honestly, he really doesn't need to be there. The whole thing with Elon Musk is he was a mascot. He's a walking mascot of a Jimmy Neutron boy genius. Obviously, we know that was BS. But now that the facade has been broken, like, he really doesn't need to be the CEO of any of these companies. Elon Musk's $44 billion acquisition of the social media app formerly known as Twitter might cost him billions in Tesla stock. With reports showing the main source of with Twitter's main source of revenue advertising down 80%. That's crazy. 80%. And this dude's posting stuff like, oh, why isn't anybody trying to assassinate Kamala Harris? This guy. Down 80% since Elon Musk took over 2 years ago. A report from Fortune posits that Musk will have to provide a fresh injection of cash into the company to salvage his takeover. And in order to do that, he may sell off shares of Tesla to raise money. The last publicly available figures prior to Musk's acquisition from Q2 of 2022 had revenue at $661 million. After you account for inflation, revenue has actually collapsed by 84%. Bro, that's this. I would be expecting something between $1 and $2 billion in stocks sold by Musk, said Bradford Ferguson, president and chief investment officer of asset manager Halter Ferguson Financial. In comments posted to YouTube on Wednesday, this alone could cause the stock to lose between 5 and 10% of its value. It's a massive hole they need to plug. Yo, Elon Musk is he's really a detriment to the success of every single last company that he's a CEO of. And unless the contracts are so rigged that he's basically the emperor of each company, they need to get rid of him. I mean, CEOs come and go all the time, but he's the czar of these companies, so they can't really get rid of him. But we'll see how that goes. While there are multiple reasons behind Twitter's collapse in revenue, Musk famously telling potential I forgot about this. He told his potential advertisers to go fuck themselves. This dude putting out tweets talking about he'll impregnate Taylor Swift. And it's like, bro, you're the CEO of this company. He doesn't care about any of that. Exactly. 84% is basically everything. Like he bought Twitter and destroyed it. Yeah, oh yeah, fake name. I mean, basically that's what he's been. He's just a Jimmy Neutron mascot. And now the mythos around him has clearly been shattered. And it's like, look, the board, whoever's sitting on the boards of these companies, if they have an opportunity to get rid of him at some point, they're gonna get rid of his ass. Because again, he's 84% drop in revenue in 2 years because of one man, basically. It's really incredible. Exactly. Thank you for pointing that out too. He gets all those subsidies for his projects as well. All right, where we at? Oh no, this is for tomorrow. I'm doing a stream tomorrow night. Here on Politics and Paper, we'll be talking about the government's role in assistance and paying for healthcare coverage. All right, what we got here? All right. Something else that JD Vance is saying. Speaking of Twitter, this is kind of on topic because this is what he's talking about right now. JD Vance says U.S. support for NATO should be linked to EU not regulating Elon Musk's social media platform. Okay. All right, man.
The leader, I forget exactly which official it was within the European Union, but sent Elon this threatening letter that basically said, we're going to arrest you if you platform Donald Trump, who, by the way, is the likely next president of the United States. So what America should be saying is, oh,
no, actually, he's Kamala Harris is the likely next president. You can kiss all that shit goodbye.
If NATO wants us to continue supporting them, and NATO wants us to continue to be a good participant in this military alliance, why don't we respect American values and respect free speech? Excuse me, it's insane that we would support a military alliance if that military alliance isn't going to be pro-free speech. I think we can do both, but we've got to say American power comes with certain strings attached. One of those is respect free speech, especially in our European allies. Like, look,
he's such an online person. He is 4chan personified. He is terminally online. This dude is saying that America's support for NATO, America's involvement in NATO should be hinged on the EU's treatment of Elon Musk. This is really fucking stupid. I mean, he says a lot of stupid shit, but this is really stupid. Like, bro, NATO is about keeping Russia in check. NATO is about helping to keep the peace in Europe and therefore around the planet. That's what it's about, because as y'all know, Europeans love them some war, and Europe can't never stay out of war. Europe's always at war. Motherfuckers is always at war. Both the world wars is because of Europeans. Okay, so Europe can cause a lot of destruction around the world. And obviously, up until relatively recently, a lot of European countries still had colonies all over the world. France, Britain, the British Empire died very recently. So, I mean, this is painfully stupid. And it's right up, I mean, it's right up there with the cat lady shit. But like, dude, what? That's what he just said is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anybody in politics say. I mean, because again, like Trump's angst against NATO, well, at least it made more sense in terms of like, hey, they need to pay more into it than we do. We pay too much money into NATO. Like, that's an argument that at least makes a little bit of sense for what NATO is. But what JD Vance said has nothing to do with what NATO is or what NATO does. He again just 4chan personified. That's what he is. What a clown. What a clown. This guy is such a clown. All right. Pretty sure y'all saw this or something similar, something like it. Springfield women who spread false rumor about Haitians eating pets admit they don't have any proof. Oh, no wonder. No wonder. And again, JD Vance, bro, it is his state. JD Vance is actively putting people in his state in danger. Don't you want immigrants to come to Ohio, JD? And again, the 20,000 Haitians in the town of Springfield, they're there legally. They're supposed to be there. They came there to work. That's why they're there. They're there to help support the American. Oh, shit. They're there to help support the American economy. That's why they're there, legally so. And you're putting them in danger. Honestly, it's not. You're not putting them in danger to help you win because it's not helping you win. You're putting them in danger just so that you don't have to admit that you were wrong. That's all any of this shit is about. No, I'm not taking it back. You're a senator, and you sitting here saying this BS. Two women from Springfield, Ohio, are speaking out about the unverified gossip they helped spread, which fueled a viral conspiracy theory about Haitian immigrants eating people's pets. Springfield resident Erica Lee appeared on NBC News on Friday, the 13th, to express regret over the impact of a rumor she posted on Facebook, which she had no idea would become a national news story. Well, one, you shouldn't have spread the lie, but also I definitely can see how you wouldn't have thought that something so ridiculous would. There were almost 70 million people watching that debate, and Donald Trump said that on a presidential election stage. Unbelievable. And again, 67 million people watched it on Tuesday, but by now, probably a billion or so people around the world have at least seen snippets of that because everybody pays attention to America because we run the planet in a lot of ways. So everybody has seen this shit. And they're like, no, we're not going to change course. She says, it just exploded into something I didn't mean to happen. I'm not a racist, Lee added. Oh, yeah, sure, of course. Saying that she is mixed race and part of the LGBTQ plus community. Everybody seems to be turning it into that. And that was not my intent. What was your intent? Lee said that she has pulled her daughter out of school over fears of her safety and is now also concerned for the Haitian community. Quote, if I was in the Haitians' position, I'd be terrified too. Worried that somebody's going to come after me because they think I'm hurting something that they love. And that, again, that's not what I was trying to do. So she came out. She was like, my bad. Hold on, what is this? A note at the front door. The school that was evacuated. Again, and while Republicans are sitting there talking about Donald Trump, two Republicans, two right-wingers attempted to assassinate Donald Trump because the left rightfully points out that Donald Trump is a dangerous. But y'all can say this stuff because, who gives a damn about Haitian lives? Who cares? Fuck them, whatever. I mean, that's what they think and feel, obviously. We can't talk about Donald Trump, but y'all can talk about people who are here legally and here to work. It's come on, man. Hold on, let's see. Do we need to go over this right here? All right, let's go over a little bit of this. A little bit of data about the Haitian community in the United States. What to know about the growth of the Haitian American community in the United States? A Republican driven, we already know. Okay, we don't need to go over this. Blah, 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 Rep Sheila McCormick, the only Haitian. Okay. How big is the Haitian American community? The Census Bureau 2024's current population survey estimates that there are roughly 852,000 Haitian immigrants in the U.S., according to the Center for Immigration Studies. Florida has the largest Haitian population. That makes sense because it's closest to Haiti in terms of states here. Florida has the largest Haitian population in the U.S. at about 500,000 individuals. So most Haitian immigrants are in Florida. Other states with sizable Haitian populations include Massachusetts. Pretty sure ain't that where you at, Fritza? Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. Again, I mean, this is pretty much like Florida and the Upper East, the Northeast. You know, like the whole tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Philly, all that whole area, DC. That's pretty much where most Caribbeans in the U.S. are. Like, there's not as many. You don't see as many Caribbeans like out in even in California. California is extremely diverse, but you don't have as many like Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and or Haitians and stuff like that there. Pretty much where all of them are is Florida and the Northeast. And clearly, most Haitians in the U.S. are living and working in the country legally. According to the CPS, 68.7% of foreign born Haitians are naturalized U.S. citizens. The U.S. government's Haitian Family Reunification Parole has allowed Haitians with relatives in the U.S. who are citizens or legal permanent residents to come to the U.S. while their green card applications are pending. Why are they coming? For work and to be in a better place because, I mean, honestly, Haiti, the world, after Haitians won their freedom, um, the world powers collectively basically screwed Haiti forever. Um, when Haiti or Hispaniola, the whole island, but when Haiti was specifically, at one point, Haiti was, I'm pretty sure the most valuable the most valuable land real estate in the world. Haiti used to be the most valuable real estate in the world, the sugarcane production and stuff like that. But basically, what happened, long story short, is the land was overworked, overfarmed, and basically, because when you look at Haiti and then the Dominican Republic, it's so different. The Dominican Republic's more lush. There's more things that can grow there because the land wasn't stripped completely of its ability to produce life the same way or to the same degree that Haiti was. So that's a lot of why, um, despite the fact that Haiti used to be the most valuable real estate on the planet, it is no longer. But also, after the Haitians won their freedom, uh, the United States and European countries were like, "Oh shit, we can't let we can't be letting our slaves get too many bright ideas. We can't allow this spirit and this culture of freedom and fighting back against your oppressors. We got to clamp that down." And France ended up putting a massive debt on Haiti that they had to pay off for a long time. And then the world powers basically didn't allow Haiti to have any voice or any say so over anything that happened. So many embargoes, sanctions, all type of stuff. Um, but yeah, Haiti is the world screwed them over so bad, and they still going through shit like this. And but yeah, it's really the story of Haiti is one of the most inspiring and empowering and yet tragic stories in human history. It really is. But the story of how Haitians won their freedom is really incredible, and I definitely think everybody should look into it. Yep, he said that's why we were called the Pearl of the Islands. Yep, exactly. And I remember when I first learned that, and it made sense about what happened and how slavery worked at that time too. Before the Atlantic slave trade was outlawed completely, slaves in that part of the world were just worked to death because it was cheaper. It was cheaper to work slaves to death than it was to take care of them and make sure that, like to feed them, give them health care and stuff like that. So just work them to death, bring more people off the boats. That's how that went down. All right. Now what we got here? We got Elise Stefanik being called out. The cognitive dissonance that these people have, that they know that they're on a sinking ship. And it's not even just that they're on a sinking ship, because dynasties come to an end. But this whole Trump MAGA shit, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. It's nothing more than a cult of personality. That's all it is. And these people are embarrassed because they know that these people can never escape this. In 5 years, they're going to be like, hey, you remember when you were totally and 100% behind Donald Trump? It's embarrassing, man. But this is pretty funny. And this is on Fox News, keep in mind.
Leadership. I want to talk to you about the Veep stakes. Your name is continually thrown out as being on the short list, potentially, that this trip may be part of an audition. The New York Times had a lengthy piece where they talk about your transformation, they say, from somebody who was not supportive of President Trump to somebody who is full-throatedly supportive of him. They say you called him a whack job at one point, and they add this. In August 2015, she told a New York radio station that he was insulting to women and that his candidacy would hurt.
Yeah, very true as well. Very true. It was during when what was it? I think it was something like when Haitians were winning their freedom, kicking the shit out of France. Napoleon was over in Europe, taking over the whole damn continent, and basically he ended up selling the Louisiana Purchase was a way for him to get money to pay for the wars that he was doing. So yeah, that's very true. Haitians winning their freedom is a direct result in how America was able to further expand westward, because they needed the money. Well, Napoleon needed the money, and he also saw it like, I don't really want to I'm not going to keep sending soldiers there. I need my soldiers here. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Hurt the party's efforts to attract female voters. According to her former friends, they continue, she thought Mr. Trump was too awful and ridiculous to be taken seriously. Her revisionism still shocks those who have known her the longest and who remember the disdain she expressed for Mr. Trump back then. So the question is when, more importantly, why did you change your mind about President Trump?
Well, Shannon, it's a disgrace that you would quote the New York Times with nameless, faceless, but they're quoting your sources.
Is she mad? It's a disgrace that you would say this, because again, what can you say in response to this that makes any sense? You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, actually, I'm full of shit. Nah, I'm just chasing power. This is the only thing you can do.
And so I'm giving you a chance to respond to
Shannon,
that.
Shannon, they're not quoting my friends. Those names are not included because they are false smears. I was attacked.
To be fair, there are a number of.
Oh, we got the letter hack in the building. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. It's been a while. Hope everything's going well with you. I'm happy to have you here.
No, Shannon, people. Just to be fair, there are a number of names of people who are quoted in the article.
Shannon, let me correct you.
People can read it for themselves.
This is a false smear, and let me tell you a fact, Shannon. In 2016, I was attacked as the only elected Republican from the Northeast who voted for President Trump. Democrats spent hundreds of thousands of dollars attacking me for that fact. So to say that I didn't support him is just false. I have been proud to be one of the strongest supporters, going back to when he ran for 2016, which was when it was my first re-election to the House. I have strongly supported him. He is going to be the next president of the United States. The American people know that. My constituents know that. And I'm proud to be one of his strongest allies in Congress. I have always put my district first, New York 21 first, and America first. And this is an opportunity for us to stop the failures of Joe Biden and elect a president who led to a booming economy, a strong national security.
They're so desperate. They're so delusional. They're so full of shit.
But my record speaks for itself, Shannon.
But let me ask you.
My record stands for itself.
Let me ask you, though, because they quote you on a radio station calling him insulting to women. Is that a misquote? Did you not say that?
I said the statement that the Democrats leaked out in 2016, that was insulting. However, Shannon, I stood by and supported him, and I strongly support him. And he has done so much to promote women in senior positions, as well as promote women's economic opportunity that we experienced under the 4 years of his.
Girl, shut up. You don't give a damn about none of that. You just thought you just thought incorrectly that Donald Trump was gonna help you come up in the world, but it didn't. All you did, all it did is make you a joke, and you're never going to be able to escape that. That's all it did. All right. Did you see this? Did you see this? Guy from the National Review. He almost. This is them talking about the Haitian migrants in Springfield. Listen to this slip. He almost didn't catch himself, but listen to this.
Finally, he said something to the effect of, look, if we have to create stories in order to bring attention to what's happening, the media, he admits they made it up, right? As opposed to, and if you listen to the full clip, he says, by drawing attention to what's happening on the ground, it's just, as this
like
line goes online, you don't hate the media enough. Go ahead.
You remember Alternative Facts with Kellyanne? They did the same thing. She wasn't saying you make up fictions and pretend they're facts. You bring other facts to bear in the debate that are being ignored. And that's what he was saying. And I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls. And I think
he almost did. He said it. He said it. Oh my God, man! These people they can't hide it. They cannot hide it. I have all these books behind me, but I'm still a bigoted, hateful moron.
They found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls.
How do you accident? Oh my God.
Of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls. And I think one lesson in this whole story, people don't care about geese. People really hate geese. They all things considered, I think people would prefer Haitian migrants to come and take the geese off the golf course, right? So it's pets, it's the cats and dogs has become the standard. Geese clearly don't matter.
Yeah, he said what he said. All right, what we got? Oh, we don't even need to watch this because whatever. Well, because we've been going for almost 2 hours and just some dumb BS that Trump said about basically siphoning water from Canada to bring to California. Hold on. Matter of fact, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch it. Yeah, exactly. I was like, he said the whole thing, and he was like, "Whoops, let me say migrants." Ain't no more dog whistles. They just saying it out loud. That's all. You know what I'm saying? They just saying it out loud. But he just straight up said it. He just straight up said it.
30. You talked about California. We have fires raging to the east. Just
I agree.
What will you do to help people in this state whose homes are being damaged again and again, or are falling, off of these cliffs right behind us, or burned down, or for the people across the country whose homes are jeopardized by natural disaster?
This is my favorite.
She asked him basically, how are you going to help people who are dealing with wildfires, who are dealing with a shortage in fresh water?
Favorite question of the day.
My favorite question of the day.
You're asking me what would I do for, let's talk California first. Is that okay? Do you mind? So I was riding with Devin Nunes and some congressmen 4 years ago. I was riding up north in California, and I looked at these fields. They were massive. I was telling John, right? It's my favorite question. I love that somebody would ask me this question, and I never told you to do it, right? Who are you with? Good. Spectrum. It's good. New, hot, right? It's hot. It's doing well, but that's because you ask good questions. So what happened, I'm saying why I look at this field, and it's massive, and in the middle of the field is a little spot of the most green, plush, land you've ever seen. I said, and then I'd see another one, these little plots, like 1 and 2 acres, and you'd have 1,000 acres that's barren and dead and dark. And I said, what's the problem here? What is that green acreage? You know, the soil is unbelievably fertile, but they have no water. I said, so do you have a drought? No, we don't have a drought. We have the water is cut off upstate.
I mean, this is basically the same thing as when the answer that he gave to childcare. He just says shit. He doesn't know anything.
In the north, you know that? And the water, in order to protect a certain little tiny fish called a smelt, they send millions and millions of gallons of water out to the Pacific Ocean, way up north. Never even gets close to here. And you know, in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills, all these rich areas, they want to give you like 38 gallons of water to use. You buy a house for a lot of money and then you're allowed to use 38 gallons of water. But you have no water down here. And the reason you have no water, you have the canals. The reason you have no water is because Gavin Newsom didn't want to do it. I had it all done. I had the Department of Commerce at the time. Believe it or not, they're the ones that rule on this particular issue. So you have millions of gallons of water pouring down from the north with the snow caps in Canada and all pouring down. And they have essentially a very large faucet. And you turn the faucet, and it takes 1 day to turn it. It's massive.
Oh my God, he's so stupid. All we have to do to provide more water for putting out the fires and making sure that people in their homes have access to fresh water is turn on the faucet from Canada. It's so simple. Everything's so simple. Listen, one of the things that that's a telltale sign that somebody isn't that bright is when they think everything's so simple and nothing's complicated. Everything's so easy. No, you just aren't that good at thinking.
As big as the wall of that building right there behind you. And you turn that, and all of that water goes aimlessly into the Pacific. And if they turned it back, all of that water would come right down here and right into Los Angeles. They wouldn't have to have people not use more than 30 gallons and 32 gallons. They want to do that, you know, they're trying to do that. And you have so much water, and all those fields that are right now barren, the farmers would have all the water they needed. And you could revert water up into the hills where you have all the dead forests, where the forests are so brittle. Because no place is like California. I go to Austria.
God, he's so dumb. Just turn on the faucet and let the water just sweep through the forest and it'll put all the fire out. Oh, he's so dumb.
The head of Austria tells me, you know, we have trees that are much more flammable than what you have in California. We never have forest fires because they maintain their forests. And you have all that water that could be used as water, what they call water flow, where where the land would be damp. And you'd stop many of these horrible fires that are costing billions and billions of dollars by the federal government, etc. So
everything's so simple. All you have to do to pay for everything is just put tariffs on all the countries. All you have to do to put out the wildfires is turn on the faucet and let the water come sweeping through the forest. He is painfully unintelligent, man.
One thing I'm going to do for California, vote for me, California. I'm going to give you safety. I'm going to give you a great border. And I'm going to give you more water than almost anybody has. And the farmers up north are going to be able to use 100% of their land, not 1% of their land.
100. They'll be able to use 100%, not 1%. Everything's superlative. Oh. And why was he even in California doing this? You ain't gonna win, Cali. And then now he was up in New York talking to people. You ain't gonna win New York. What are you doing? What is he doing? Why are you in these states that you have no hope of winning? What are you doing? He's so stupid. All right, we got like this, right? Like this. This is what he said to people up in New York. Like, why are you even there, man? Why are you there? Every day counts for your campaign, and you're up in states that you have no hope of winning. What the hell do you have to lose? A whole lot voting for your ass. Former President Trump made a pitch to New York voters. Why? In a True Social post Tuesday afternoon. Okay, well, at least it was just a post. But yeah, bro, you're not going to win New York. What are you doing? So he says, Nassau Coliseum on Long Island will be a really big deal tomorrow. It will be packed with Oh, so he's gonna be there tomorrow. Okay, again, why are you in New York? Other than a fundraiser or something? What are you doing? Nassau Coliseum on Long Island will be a really big deal tomorrow. It will be packed with patriots. We will have a real chance of winning for the first time in many decades. New York. Okay. Yeah, no. Not happening. The hell is wrong with this dude? Hundreds of thousands of migrants. Crime at record levels. You saying this, bro? Damn near all of NYC are immigrants. First, second, or third generation. Crime at record levels, terrorists pouring in, inflation eating your hearts out. What the hell do you have to lose? Vote for Trump. I will turn it around. Get salt back, which is some tax shit. Lower your taxes, and so much more. I'll work with the Democrat governor and mayor and make sure the funding is there to bring New York State back to levels it hasn't seen in 50 years. People are fleeing. Maybe we'll get them to flee back. We'll get them to flee back. He said, what the hell do you have to lose? A whole lot. People got a whole lot to lose. We got some Mark Robinson stuff, but man, whatever. We gonna dial it down. All right, let's check this out. Hold on, what we got here? Peter Ducey is such a dork. He's just a dork. He really is, and he's a shameless dork too. All right, what we got here? Actually, fake name. That's a good point. It's quite good that he's that again. Every day he's just ruining his chances. So continue to talk about everything you shouldn't be. Continue to campaign in New York and California where you have absolutely no hope of winning. But yeah, all right, yeah, we got Peter Ducey coming up again. This dude is just completely shameless dork. You're calling the president a threat. That's why.
Tried to kill Donald Trump again. And you're here at the podium in the White House briefing room calling him a threat. How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
Peter, if anything from this administration, I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question. The question that you're asking, it is also incredibly dangerous in the way that you're asking it, because American people are watching. And to say that from an administration who has consistently condemned political violence, from an administration where the president called the former president and was grateful that he was okay, from an administration who has called out January 6th, called out the attack of Paul Pelosi, called out and said we need to lower the temperature after the Butler incident. And now for you to make that kind of comment in your question, because your question involved a comment and a statement. And, it is, that is also incredibly dangerous. When we have been very clear in condemning political violence from here, what I have said about the president, the former.
Oh God, I feel she'd be like every time she addresses Peter, she's like, Peter. every single time she's like, oh, I have to answer your question because this is what I get paid to do. This is my job. I don't really want to answer your question, but I have to. It's painful. We all suffering with you. We are suffering with you having to deal with this. Now, what is this shit right here? Because I haven't watched this. GOP senator draws gasps for shocking attack on Muslim witness. You should hide your head in a bag. Okay, what is this?
And according to your website, you're also, I'm going to quote here, a longtime Democratic Party activist who served as a member of the 2016 Democratic National Convention's Platform Standing Committee, close quote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You support Hamas, do you not?
Senator, oddly enough, I'm going to say thank you for that question because it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today in a very
Let's start
effective
first
way.
with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question very much puts the focus on the issue of hate in our country.
Well, I got your answer.
You're Muslim, so that must mean that you support Hamas, correct? That's what that means, am I right?
Well, I appreciate it. What is the, you support Hezbollah too, don't you?
Again, I find this line of questioning extraordinarily disappointing,
Is that a
Senator.
no?
That
Or
you have Arab American constituents that you represent
is
in your
that
great state.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that, but my time's limited and I apologize, but is that a yes or a no?
A yes or no question to do I support Hezbollah? The answer is I don't support violence, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, or any other entity that invokes
You
it.
can't
So
bring
no,
yourself to say no, can you?
No, I can say no. I can say yes.
But she said no.
What I can say is
You just
your
can't
line
make
of
yourself do
questioning.
it. Do you
Senator.
support or oppose Iran and their hatred of Jews?
Again,
Honestly, all these people do is waste time. That's really all they do. There's no substance behind what they say, so they just waste time.
going to emphasize Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, none of them is going to, this
You can't bring
discussion.
yourself to say no.
Sir,
She's
I don't
saying
support-
no.
Real simple.
Excuse me, I'm going to,
Ian,
if I may,
no,
as a
no,
Muslim
no.
woman, sir, I'm going to tell you I do not support Iran. But what I will tell you is that this conversation.
I'm running out of time. I'm sorry.
Again, that's what it's all. That's all it's about. I'm going to waste time. I got 2 minutes here, and I don't really have anything substantive to say, so I'm going to say a bunch of dumb shit that people on Fox News want to hear. That's what I'm going to. This dude went to like Cambridge or Oxford or some shit like that. He's smarter than this. But again, that's not the point.
You called our decision to cut funding. You called our decision to cut fund. Well, first, what's the United Nations Relief and Works Agency?
It's UNRWA, which is the institution that exists to provide services and aid to the nearly 6 million Palestinian refugees.
And you called our decision to cut funding for them, quote, an incredible moral failure, close quote.
That is absolutely correct. But again, I would suggest that conversation is about foreign policy.
We did that because 9 UNRWA staff members were fired for actually helping Hamas on October 7th. Isn't that the case?
I don't believe that that's correct in terms
Let
of.
me ask you one more time. You support Hamas, don't you? You support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir, please. I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not support Hamas.
Bring yourself
I do
to
not
say
support Hamas.
You don't
She said no, but again, all he's doing is wasting time. That's it.
support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very clear in my support for UNRWA.
Hezbollah, and you don't support Iran. You should hide your head in a bag.
You should have your head in a bag.
Support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very clear in my support for UNRWA.
Hezbollah, and you don't support Iran. You should hide your head in a bag.
You should have your head in a bag. What? You should have your head in a bag. Yeah, he went to Oxford. Yeah, fake name. He went to Oxford, which again just shows that he's just shameless. He's just completely shameless. But that's who that's the type of people that these positions attract often, unfortunately. But That's all that was, just wasting time. That's literally all that was. All right, we got one more thing. One more thing. We went over 2 hours today. Yeah, for real, Donald. If there's any chance to get him voted out, please. I'm pretty sure he's in Louisiana or something like that. Um, but he just told that woman that her head should be in a bag. Huh? Woo! Okay. And well, of course they do because they're so pro-life that they don't want people to have access to IVF. It's a little bit of that. It's half that they're just assholes, and also they just anything that Democrats do, no, no, doesn't matter what it is. A second attempt to pass legislation guaranteeing access to in vitro fertilization for women who need it failed after Republican senators filibustered. Oh, they filibustered it. To get rid of that shit. Last month, GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump surprised almost everybody in the nation's capital by floating a plan to require insurance companies to pay for the cost of in vitro fertilization for women who need it. But of course, he wouldn't do that because Republicans wouldn't do that, and nobody really believes it. Which is one of the key flaws in Donald Trump's campaign is that we've been watching him for 9 years. There's nothing new to see. There's nothing new to consider. It's one of the reasons why he's doing so poorly. In addition to him just objectively running a terrible campaign, we've been watching this dude for a decade, and nobody believes him when he says stuff like this, especially when you are responsible for the overturning of Roe v. Wade, which you brag about all the time. You know, oh, this is what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted this. Yeah, no, okay. On Tuesday, Senate Republicans blocked a bill that would do just that. It's the second time in recent months that the GOP has filibustered the Right to IVF Act. Democratic legislation that, in addition to ensuring insurance coverage for such treatments, would also enshrine into federal law a right for individuals to receive IVF treatment as well as for doctors to ask for it. Why are Republicans against this? One, because they're assholes, and two, because they're just totally against the government paying for anything at all other than war. If it's not war, Republicans don't want to pay for it. Democrats love paying for war too, but Democrats also are in favor of paying for things that people need. Republicans are not. Republicans don't believe in government. So anything that has to do, that's why they always try, well, we're going to get rid of Social Security. Get rid of the Department of Education because they're too idealistic for their own good. Republicans want people to think they support IVF because they know how unpopular that position is. They want to keep their true agenda hidden from the public, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said. Democrats initially forced a vote on the bill in June after a ruling earlier this year by the Alabama Supreme Court that declared that frozen embryos can be considered children. Well, there you go. There's really not much more to say about it other than, of course, because they're Republicans and this is what Republicans do. All right. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. We had a long stream. Went on for over 2 hours today. And we had a good one. Thank you, Fake Name, for being here. I hope to see you more often. Tomorrow, I'll probably do a stream in the afternoon, but if not, I'm definitely doing a stream. I think I got it set for 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be talking about the government's role in assisting people with mental health problems. So we'll be talking about like community mental health centers, the issues that they face in terms of like how Medicaid only matches them like 60 to 70 cents on the dollar. Community mental health centers lose money constantly. They pretty much always have a short on staff. We'll talk about homelessness. We'll talk about the prison system, how all of these things kind of coalesce in the variety of government programs that are available. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. But check me out tomorrow. Thank y'all. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. And you have a good night. I'll see you soon.